Jai Shri Ram. When I take the name of Mahabali Angad, the first thing that you will recall is Angad's firm foot in Lanka Darbar, which no one is able to shake. The firm foot which shattered the egos and obsession of Ravan with his power, because even he could not move it. But do you know, Angad was also a great knowledge possessor. He knew Dharma far better than many others. How? I'll tell you today. Welcome to yet another episode of Ramayana and Deep Knowledge. So Angad reaches Lanka, and as a messenger, he has been sent. Because last time when Hanumanji was sent, he destroyed the entire Lanka. So in order to avoid any kind of further escalation of tension, Angad is chosen to be sent this time. Mind it, it was maybe the last time that a messenger was going to Lanka before the war. Because if this proposal was denied by Ravan, the next step was only and only the battle. So it was a very crucial moment. Angad reaches Lanka. Now he's standing in front of Ravan. And the final dialogue takes place between both of them. Now here, one typical characteristic of Mayavi demon Ravan is seen. He was an expert in Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed. That means do anything to win a battle. And he tries the same here also. So he's trying to convince Angad that his father was killed by Ram. And Ram did it by hiding in the bushes. It was a cowardly move. He snatched away the kingdom from Bali and handed it over to a far less competent Sugriv. So how could Angad support his uncle, the killer of his dad? He also reminds Angad that Bali was a friend of Ravan. As Ravan and Bali had a war, a fierce war, which ended with Bali winning. However, Bali won because he had the boon of taking away the opponent's half power. That's why he was undefeated. So once Bali defeated Ravan, he too realized the might of Ravan, and that's why later on both became friends. Ravan reminds the episode to Angad, asking him to be on the side of Ravan, who was a friend of Bali, and not on the side of Sugriv, who was a killer of his father, alongside Shri Ram. These words are enough to shake anybody's will, to shake anybody's trust. But the answer to this given by Angad tells you how well Angad knew the Dharma. Angad says, "O demon king, I don't need to learn Dharma from you, as I already know what the right path is. And the right path is Shri Ram. Ram stands for Dharma and Dharma stands for Ram. So you better talk on the topic that I am here to discuss. You return back Devi Sita with respect and dignity to Shri Ram and he will forgive you. Because I know very well who I should be with and who not." Isn't that wonderful? That Angad knew very properly that his father was at fault. by not listening to Sugriv and forcefully arresting and keeping his wife in his kingdom, in his palace. Bali had crossed the boundaries of injustice and cruelty. And that is why when Bali died, he asked Shri Ram for forgiveness from his sins. He knew that he had committed some unacceptable sins against his own brother and even against humanity. So Angad knew very well that it was his father who was at fault and not Uncle Sugriv. And that's why we must salute the knowledge and the calmness of Angad. We must salute the judgment of Angad, who always stood with the right and he believed in virtues, not vices. That is what makes him a Dharmatma. And for people like us, we also come across different Ravanas who try to deviate us from the path of Dharma. They will try to tell us or convince us that we ain't getting anything from our God. They will try to manipulate us, just like Ravan was trying to manipulate Angad, that we should forget God, move away from Him. But at that moment, our response should be just like Mahabali Angad. So whether the conviction of Angad or his foot in Lanka, both were unshakable. Because he also knew Shri Ram means Dharma and Dharma means Shri Ram. Satya Sanatan, Jai Sanatan, Gyan Yagya continues.